Hi, for you today I have a number of 5-minute games that I've played on YouTubechess.com. No, I've played them on chess.com, but they're on YouTube soon here after this. I've already done one of these, but I noticed my window was too big for my sprog, so for my face. So here we go, and there's some evidence. So anyway, here we go, let's get into it. So I'm not going to spend too much time on these games. I will at times show some analysis or give you some chances to figure out what you do and that sort of thing. But as a 5-minute, which is almost what the World Championships was all about, they are going to be in short moves in quick succession. This looks a bit ouchy. And now look, Queen d6, obviously threatening mate. Even if the queen was here, it would be bishop to h2 checkmate. So black's threatening queen d6 to h2 checkmate. Now I don't go to the king side, I run away. Here black should just play probably queen takes b4 or maybe something else, but they play rook g6 and I play queen h5, rook here, and it's all over for black. Black resigns because if rook g6, then rook g1 is finale, as the computer just shows. This just wins a whole rook. Okay, so that's that game. Next game for you is this one. I turn the engine off, otherwise it interrupts. This is a wee bit simpler when they don't take pawn, because they give white a nice position, a nice central pawn position. Like this is great. This is just awesome. And with h3, why I play that is generally I want to play my bishop here without a knight annoying, and in some cases even a bishop coming here, so it stops those sorts of moves. a4 to prevent b5 and being a pawn equal situation. Look at the central position here, that black's doing everything one step back from white. b6, so it can't be good. Bishop e3, knight bd2, almost developed. Knight c4, but now I'm starting to deviate from development. This actually turns out quite a reasonably good game. That's why I've got it on here. Now note this bishop here. This bishop has some intent of attacking the queen or threatening the queen later on, which may or may not happen. Black is just taking my knight, so I've just given up a knight. Bishop g6, knight e7, bishop e8, rook bf1. Now here, king h7, I don't think it's very good, but it might be okay. Sounds double Dutch, that's where I come from. My parents come from Holland, so it sounds a wee bit double Dutch. Here I go, knight g6, which is discovering the queen attack. The queen can't take, of course, because it's check with the knight on g6. I do not want to take that knight. Everyone can see why not. I'll show you. It is because of bishop d4 check and thereby I'm now an exchange down after queen takes bishop, because I'm not wanting to do anything. I might as well get what I can. Queen takes bishop, rook takes queen, and there I'm exchanged down, and we have equal pawns. So black should win that. So don't play that. I play queen g5, which is of course threatening here and here, or maybe checkmate. But it's also, but it's not, because if queen takes bishop after bishop h6, if I go queen h5, queen h6, then black can just play king to g8. Especially if there's time trouble difficulties, black just takes the pawn and then doubles up with rook cd7, and now queen h5 is a wee bit embarrassing. And here of course king here is no good, everyone can see why, so I'm not going to say. So king f8, bishop e6, rook f7, bishop d7 check with the queen, so being very nasty. King c5, queen c6, queen b7, rook a1, rook f1, rook a1. My opponent resigned, probably due to this is checkmate next move, regardless of what black does. Then the next game is for you. If you want to see these games, I hope you do. It's this. We all know what I'm playing. It's not my opening. It's really, really good for lightning. I think it is. Even about people. See, the thing is there's lots of wee little tricks in this opening that black has to be careful of. This is one of them, because if pawn takes, then rook takes rook is check. So it would primarily, with a better player, probably let them say, well, you can play your knight in there, but look at what's going to happen to this pawn and everything like this. It's not very nice. So rook a8. So get rid of my bad bishop. I'll just go queen a4. Knight b6 looks very, very good until you see queen a3 check, rook h8, and my opponent resigned. Then the next one's, this is my favourite for this session. This is the favourite one. This is a French where something interesting happens. So we never ever take that pawn, because it's going to be good for the rooks on the h file. Maybe not perfect, but it's going to be better than what they get. So here there's no real competition for white to worry about other than this square here, h3 and h1. If we have rooks and queens landing on these squares, it's devastating to white's position. So you've got to be very careful of those sorts of things. Whereas meanwhile on the Western Front, now here of course, if this, then I just play rook b1. So my opponent plays dc4, I play knight c4, of course. This is no good because of rook b1, etc., which is going to win the queen for knight and rook and a pawn. Knight d6 check, it's quite sad. Knight b5, queen c8, knight d6, knight e7. Should I take this rook or not? I did. I took this rook. Rook b1 check, c4. I missed it, by the way. This, I think I missed it, because otherwise I would just play here and then c4, but I probably got a bit confident. Queen d3. Now, what is black to do anyway? There's look at this position, that pawn, yeah, and that sort of thing. This bishop's nicely situated. It's not going to get hit by anything other than a diagonal or a knight. But I mean, it's really quite comfortable, because here comes bishop f6, rook h3, and king g2 as promised. d5. I don't actually have to play this move. I can just play this. So anyway, d5. Now if I take here, of course, no good, because of queen c2, which defends the rook at the same time on h7. We've got the engine on, see, the engine plays it. So queen c2 attacks the queen and defends the rook, and attacks the rook if my queen moves away. Queen h7, might as well. And now we have bishop f5, queen c7, gf5, and rook a2. My opponent resigned. It's obviously a one game for white, black, white, black. So next one we have is a simple mistake. Do you want to see moves fast? I do. My opponent resigned. Mainly because this is no good because the rook takes rook. This is no good because the bishop takes rook. This is no good probably because of bc6, which the computer's on again. I keep doing that. And now we're threatening the knight. So if the queen takes, then we've got bishop d5, and we can even just take this knight, this rook with the bishop next move, because black has no white squared bishop left. And after queen a6, then bang, and this is very healthy indeed for white, because black hasn't anywhere along this diagonal to go to with their queen, and so they're either going to relinquish by moving their queen, say to b8 or d8, or taking the queen and more or less resigning on the spot. So that was that game. The next game is this. Now, have I got any special? See, the thing is with Caro-Kann is you can just play this, and this is another contender for probably one of the games I would consider one of the better ones. So the thing is with way back to here, if you bear with me, is after c6 we're either going to enter into the major lines of the Caro-Kann defense, or we're going to deviate and transpose into something that we're more comfortable with, particularly that of mine, which is, like I've already said a number of times, this is the King's Indian attack that Bobby Fischer was an exponent of, this opening for white. So it's not a mugs game. It looks pretty weak, and often people try to punish it, which is actually quite a good thing if they do, because then they run amok usually. Queen e2. So I'm defending it 3 times. Black can only attack it twice without the pawn move, of course, or something stupid like bishop there, which is not what they do. b5 h4. Now we have the typical queenside major assault going on here. So now I'm overprotecting this very important pawn on e5. If I lose that, then black's game. If that pawn goes, then black is going to have possibly still has to do some preparational moves. Black's going to have a very nice game indeed. Okay, so that pawn's very important, and I'm over protecting it now. So knight h2, and now I'm actually protecting it again. So look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 things are protecting my pawn on a6 apex. I do not want to play moves like this because c3 is embarrassing to white's position, attacking my queen with the bishop. So black's sort of hammering home on my weak point, which is d3. So I go rook a d1, and here comes this queen wanting to join in the fun. So I play bishop f1 before that actually occurs. And black keeps on keeping on, and I play h5. Because now I'm only protecting, I'm not over protecting my pawn on d3. h5, queen a4. Now this looks like black's really having a field day at my expense. I play b3, and everyone can see if queen a3, what's going to happen then is I'm going to just drop this bishop back to c1, which the computer's going to do anyway, and I'm going to drop this bishop back to c1, and here, short of some crazy sacrificial moves, black's going to lose their queen. So that's not what occurred. After b3, my opponent went back good on them. Now I play here, which is, now I'm threatening d4. So black chickens off and goes away. Now I don't want to play d4 now, because if I do, then this knight can creep in and this bishop can be taken first maybe. And then, or I don't know if that would be the case. If d4 and bishop takes bishop, then what would I do? I'd play this first, and that's attacking the queen, and then I can take the bishop next move. I think that analysis is reasonably right. h6. Now this is threatening knight f7 checkmate. So my opponent has to react. Now I play knight gh7, not knight fh7, because this move would offer black the opportunity or chance to maybe move this pawn to f6 or f5, which might be quite defensive, but it might be okay. So here black runs away, and I go back here, threatening the knight check again, and obviously this is a reasonably strong pawn. After rook f8, I play queen d2, which is now I'm starting to want to come into the king's side. How do I do that? Let me count the ways. Not really. There are ways and means, but I've got some things in my mind here. So knight h6 is knight e6, and here we're threatening queen h6 checkmate. So here comes knight f5, I'll play knight f8, take the rook first and then ask questions later. Now I play g4, and now I'm just threatening queen h2 check and queen h7 checkmate. So my opponent goes knight e6, I go queen h2, my opponent resigns or folds. This is again another situation of, instead of playing down the main line of the Petrov for my opponent, which is probably in their favour, even though I do know it quite well, I play d3. Now there's nothing wrong with this. It looks pretty weak, but it's nothing wrong with it. Black will often try to punish white, probably because they don't like you playing irregular. c3 just stops the knight from being a pest and moving into my part of this over the central line of the soccer field. G4. Now, knight H4. There are a couple of things. This is very well known that if knight, often black can just play knight E4, discovering the attack on the H4 knight with the queen. Whereas in this case, if knight E4, then I just take knight G6, threatening knight takes queen check. So, and then after capture on G6, I just lift this bishop or knight on E4 and win a piece. So, same being with the other variation. So let me just try this then, okay? We'll just try this. So we've got knight E4, and then you've got knight F5, which is a wee bit of a simple intermediate move to see. And as you would notice, even if black was able to play knight G3 or something like that, or knight takes knight, say for example, then we would have just knight E7 check, and then worry about my queen being attacked by BC3 or FG3. So even if black was able to do it, it's going to make no good to them. So that's a winner of a pawn, it looks, for black, but it's actually a loss of piece for black. So knight D7, knight F5. Well, this gets quite fun. This is, I was a little bit mean in this game. Now, if knight E5, then I just go G5 and I win this bishop on G6 as well. So here it's very, very nasty. So black has to go queen F7 or back to E8. I take this knight, and now I'm threatening this knight. I'm threatening this, or whatever I'm threatening. So there, check, check, to the queen. We still have to be reasonably sensible here. We can't be silly. We don't want to give our queen up like I usually like to be a bit crazy and spectacular. We have to play sensibly as well. H5, knight F5, G6. Now, whether the ending is any good for me or not is another question. And here's where my opponent either was rattled in their cage. I think we were in dire straits for time trouble. So my opponent lost. Here, maybe. Now this is about pre-moves. About the importance of maybe getting away with it, of pre-moving or pre-programming your move for the next move. So this is why it's not always good. Now my opponent is 2137 on chess.com for 5-minute chess. So my opponent is white, I'm black. And here I played FG4. So that's the importance of not playing pre-moves. Now, why does black not play A4 now? What's wrong with A4? Because it looks like black can just play A4 and B5 when my bishop moves to C4, and then just win my bishop. What's wrong with A4 here? I'll show you. Okay, you ready? A4, we have this, check. Oh, here we go. Keep leaving the engine on. See, the computer even sees my moves, so it can't be too bad. Queen h5 and queen takes c5, etc. Okay. Castles. Now, I probably should and probably would normally play a move like this or this, but I don't. I'm a bit naughty. Now, if I go here, then I'm going to meet b5 and I'm going to lose my pawn, my bishop. I don't even want to say pawn, I'll be bishop. See, I didn't even say it. Queen h5. Now, please do not try this at home. Bishop h6. And then we take the bishop, you see? So it's a wee bit naughty. Rook a2. Now, if my bishop was still on c1, then this would be winning for black, because they're going to queen, and or else they're going to win my rook. So if this is the position here, then black will win material, even though it's a bit of a topsy-turvy game. Now I'm just threatening or wanting to play knight takes b3. There's no point taking the c pawn yet because I'm not having to do it, and now I'm threatening, of course, queen g7 checkmate. So f6 and bishop f8, and now queen c4. You think it's all over, it's not really. Rook f1, queen h6. Now, if I go king h1, everyone can see why I can't play king h1. I'm going to turn the engine off because it's on again. No, it's not. If I play king h1, then what happens is knight g3, and I start to cry, according to Grandmaster, forgot his name again, always forget his name. And this might not be actually too bad, because here we can just about play this too, and then we have this and this, and etc. Black would probably be met by this, or maybe even rook f1, but in this case we might get away with this now. Here my opponent resigned. The next one is, I'm going to make sure I don't do what I did last time. So we've got another queenside castler. This is a game I should have lost. Now here, black makes just the simple mistake. If king takes knight, I can just about resign. Or I should probably resign. But my opponent plays queen c6, or even queen e6 is the same thing because of knight d8 check. But all black has to do here now is king takes knight, and I'm more or less basically lost. Okay, e6, I don't know why they took the bishop on f4, and here my opponent resigned. And this is, I believe, the last one. This is just called crunch. So never ever ever take that pawn on h5. Well, I mean, you can. Threatens the queen, of course, with g8, so it has to take back. Now here, just about all this is very, very good. This is what I played, and it's just a little bit sad for black after this. And here my opponent resigned. I think that's the end of the session. I hope you enjoyed it. A myriad of games today. And I think that is the games for today. Thank you very much. That's me, over and out from New Zealand, Christchurch, New Zealand. All the best with your chess. And just one thing, this is John Andrew Mazda again. So I got this jacket from one of the major sales people up there. Not that I'm one of their salespeople, but I probably could sell them. But this is from John Andrew Mazda in Auckland. Very, very good people to deal with. If you're looking for a Mazda or even a used Mazda, then go to them, especially the MX-5s.